Hello my angels and devils and all who may wander here. It was Amanda Christina, and today, oops, just bear with me while I move my table forward a little. Today we are making the Economical Hallett bag is what I'm calling this. This is the one that I said you can get 4 bags from 2 sheets of pattern paper, 2 12 by 12 and 1 sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. So 4 bags, 3 sheets of paper, which is pretty good. So here's what I have. I have 1 6 by 6 piece of paper. I have 2 5-inch wide or long strips, like of the 12 by 12, so 2 5 by 12, or you would have. I have 1 because I've already used one. Now the reason you're not seeing the sample is because I used it. I have 4 bling brads. I have 2 1 1/4 inch strips to go with these 1-inch strips, and these are 6 1/2. I think, like, yeah, about 7 1/2 inches long. You could do a bit longer. I just went with what I had because I had the 6 inches from the actual paper that I had that was left. So it's up to you. Like, if you want to do these at 4 inches or even smaller, you could do them lower. It's up to you. I just that way you get more handles, but you can use ribbon, you can use just plain cardstock. It is up to you. It doesn't matter what color the Hallett bag is inside. So yeah, so there what I have, yeah, 1 1/2 by 7 1/2 times 2 and 6 inches by 1 inches times 2 as well, and that's what we have. So we have all our bits. Now the first thing to do is to make your box. Now I've spilt some glossy accents on this cardstock, but it won't matter. So we're going to score this at 1 and 1 2 3 4, so 1 5/8, which is just that 1 piece over from the 1 1/2, that extra just little blip, and we're going to do that all the way around, and then we're done with our scoreboard. What this means is that your 12-inch piece of cardstock will fit, piece of paper will fit all the way around your Hallett bag. Now, I had forgotten to grab, lucky for me, my little trolley is here, because I had completely forgotten to grab some tape. So I've just got some, oh, I was shy. Yeah, okay, this will tell you how with it I am this morning. I used to be with it. Now I don't even know what with it is. Anyone remember Grandpa Simpson saying that? So now what we're going to do is we're just literally going to turn this into a box. So we're just going to snip the 4 corners. This is so simple and so easy. I love Hallett bags. They're fun to make. They look great, and they hold, like, even a small Hallett bag will hold a lot. This size will actually hold over half a box of, you could probably get away with even 12 of the Ferrero Rochers. I put 8 in one for my mum, and it didn't, like, yeah, they basically, this size box will hold 4 and then 4 sit on top, which is really nice. Okay, so now we're just going to take this. You're going to see how quick this is because I've prepped it. If you haven't prepped it, it's going to take a bit, like, prepped the things, it'll take a bit longer, but if you're doing these in bulk, you can do these super, super quick. I'm just going to cheat and put tape that way. I'm just going to be a bit, normally I would do tape along both edges, but I'm just speeding this up a little bit because the last time I did a crafty video, I only got halfway through what I was making, and I still managed to take over half an hour. So, yeah, sometimes my quick things are not so quick when I'm doing them for the first time or when I'm trying to explain what I'm doing as I go. Okay. So now we just literally are going to, now you could use glue if you were so inclined. I'm not much of a gluer. and depending on what it's for, I tend to use tape. Oh, it would help if I had... Now, this is if you have cardstock you might not necessarily use because of the colour. It's a good way to use that up, actually. You just want to line your edges together to make a nice crisp square. Yeah, like this isn't necessary. This is a really bright, vibrant green. So, and I can see that I didn't necessarily push that one down properly, but that's okay because you can trim it. These things don't need to be perfect. Oh, you want it. I don't know why this is out of whack now. I must have accidentally. I might not have trimmed, like, scored properly because I was rushing. And we all know that in crafting, rushing leads to easy, simple mistakes. Yeah, see, that one's nice. So, and sometimes your cardstock, just so you know, all cardstock, all paper is cut slightly wonky. So I'm just fixing that up. That's your box. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our tape and we are going to run it around the box, bottom of the box. And actually, I would rather, yeah, okay, yeah, I've got my, this is the Empress tape I got from Craft Online. If you are a subscriber to their newsletter, you can usually pick this up sometimes if you've got the money on Saturday, when they do their Saturday savers for 99¢. Otherwise, it's $1.29, which is still very economical, and this is a really strong tape. I'm really impressed with this tape, to be honest. I wasn't sure what to expect because the price point is so darn low. Okay, so now what we do is we're going to pop a... well, try not to pull it. You want to, I'm just popping a piece of tape on this end and one on, do I need, no, we don't do the inside one, that's right, but we start this way. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pull this tape off. I'm not, look, if you've made a Hallett bag before, you'll know how to do this. This isn't hard, anything majorly hard. Now we're just going to leave a little bit for it to come back around. So I'm just going to pop this on the bottom, and then I am literally just going to roll this and stick it down nicely as I go, just making sure to cover up the bottom. I really, really have to say I am so, this is from a, this glassine is, yeah, this glassine is from a prize I won from We Are Memory Keepers, and I honestly think it was the best part about the prize because I wasn't that fussed on. It doesn't help that I broke the guide that I had, but yeah, no, I wasn't that fussed on it. Okay, and there we go. We just did, whoops, hang on. Okay, you get a little bit more leeway with this than you might with normal paper because it might have torn your normal paper. Okay, let's make sure we get this nice and you just okay. I'm having a little bit of trouble today. I am sorry. It is because I am not well. I am not necessarily getting this where I want it, but what I'm going to do is just trim that little, I'm just going to be a brat and just trim that little bit off, and that's the basic Hallett bag. Now what I love with the glassine is look at how you can just push that and you get your shape. What I love about Hallett bags is also that you get like a lot of room on the inside. Like look, my whole hand fits in there. You can fit quite a bit in this small bag. Being able to make 4 with just 3 sheets of 12 by 12 I think is a lot of fun and really cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my 2 sheets of cardstock, one which has a mark on it, but that's okay because when we add our paper it should cover the mark. Yeah, it'll cover the mark. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab, this is iced spruce, and I would normally have something to ink on because I don't want, I'm just going to be a bad girl and tear a page out of my book that I am using to put my measurements in so that I can keep them for other things. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am literally just going to gently ink up. This probably needs a... And what I usually do is I usually do it out onto some plastic so that I don't end up with too much straight away, or like onto my mat, so that I can then just come back and pick up the extra ink. And that's all I'm going to do for that, is just to give it a nice little, and I will go around the edges as well with the actual inker, and I'll do that on the... Okay, so we just get rid of some of that and go along. I really love this ice spruce. It's sort of a greeny grey and it looks so good. This is the I think it's Poppy Crafts cardstock I got from Craft Online, and it has a nice smoothness which is really nice for blendability. So what I'm going to do now is just go along here just to give it a bit more definition. You don't have to do this. This isn't a necessary step. I'm just sitting here and we're at 11 minutes already. Now the thing is, once you've made one of these, it goes so much faster. I made about 20 of these for a picnic recently, and I used a lot of the paper from the... what's the range called? The Sugar and Spice pad I had. The Sugar and Spice cute Christmas pad. And it was super easy. I didn't end up using a lot of resources because you didn't need to. And I love that. I love things that are where you get a lot of bang for your buck. I usually like to try and stretch my supplies as much as possible. The only reason I pulled this paper out was I just thought, ooh, the glassine would be so pretty, and I had this one. I may end up using this to put someone's present in at Christmas, probably my eldest niece, because her little ornaments might fit in that. They might not. I know the purple one I made I'm probably going to use to put my sister's presents in. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to grab a dry baby wipe and just make sure that there's no... that it's all dry. Nothing worse than getting ink everywhere. And then I'm just going to do this. Then we're going to grab the tape. Don't need a Hallett bag just at the moment. And I'm just going to run tape along two sides, because you don't need to worry about the end bit. Now what we're going to also do is... we're going to curl these, which is something I've learnt from the Stamping Up ladies I watch, is to curl your handles. Now these handles are honestly a little shorter than I would like, but this was how I had cut the glassine. So you could easily take your glassine bag down an inch and have two, but you'd still need to find some other handles, to be honest. Okay, I'm sorry. I am so bad at keeping my hands in shot. I'm aware of this. I'm working on it. I promise you I'm working on it. So this is just, you know, most people know how to put tape on, but just in case you don't, I just run it down and try and keep everything as flat as possible. And this is great tape because it's just tearable. Tearable as in tearing, not terrible as in horrible. Just because I figured that might need some clarification. So what I do is I just sort of give myself an approximate... I try and get... no, that's not even roughly even there. I try and get roughly the same amount of end thing at either end, because that's where your brad's going to go. Okay, and then we do this one. Then I'll show you how I curl the handle, and we'll pop our handles on, and then we will put our brads in, and that's it. It's really not a hard thing. You don't even need the fancy brads, but I have found that it does help. Okay, yep, that looks about right. Okay, that one got a bit more centered than the other one. Just remember, like, it's easy to get all hard on yourself and like, oh, it should be perfect, it should be perfect. But the thing is, we're crafting. Crafting is meant to look handmade. So what you do is you grab your bone folder and you literally just go like this. And what that does is, as you pull it across, it gives your cardstock a nice curl, which means that your handles just curl a little easier. That's all. That's all we're doing, is just kind of not breaking the cardstock as such, just teaching it how we want it to go. So you just do that a few times to get it nice and curled, so that when you pop it on, you get this nice little handle. And then we do the same for the other one. Oh, that one's definitely done a little, I don't know what it is about this one. This one seems to want to do better than the other one. I don't know why. It's not a competition. We just want you both nicely curled. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to pop some tape on the bottom of this. And the tape is mainly just to show you where you want it. And it's just an added thing. Like, I don't like to go straight in with brads. I think that that can be a bit troublesome. So we're going to do that. We've got our 4 brads here. So now where you put your handles is you try and line them up with, now you don't want to smush this as your corners because you're not necessarily doing, so we're just going to pop this here, up a little higher. So we're just trying to line it up roughly with that edge bit, and then we're going to come around with this one and we're going to line it up with the same edge. So as I said, this handle is probably a little clunky. I would have liked to have just used the plain North Pole, but I didn't have enough. So then what you do is on the other side, hang on, this one should be straighter. That's all. Okay, there we go. I want these straight, not curved. You just want them sort of straight down. Then what you do on the other side is you line them up. So I'm just going to put that in a place where you can see it. I'm going to take this one, and then once we add the brads, we're done. It's a really cool thing, and the thing is, once you get the hang of your first one, you can just knock out a whole heap of these, have them lined up as party favors. They don't necessarily have to be a Christmas thing. They could be themed to any time of year. So what I do is just match up roughly where I try and get them as even as possible to where I put the other ones. And there we go. There are your handles on. Oops. Okay, that one I might have put up a little too high. Okay, so we want to do that second one again. That's why sometimes having a tape or that you can reposition is handy. Okay, there we go. That's better. Now what I'm going to do is I've got my awl and I've got my brads. So I'm going to take my brads all off the sheet. Admittedly, something I could have done before I started this video because this video is going on. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on with me today. Me lately. I can't seem to do short crafting videos, but these ones are showing you step by step. So now the measurements for this are mine. However, oh, I see what I've done here. Okay, you are not where you need to be. You need to be over a little more. Okay, which means this one needs to be over just a little more. Oh, oh dear. There we go, we got it. And we'll just have to put a new piece of tape on that. This is just me being picky right now. I love these. These are so cute. They're so fun. And the thing is, if you give someone a Hallett bag and they're someone who maybe doesn't do their own packaging or whatever, they can always redo the package. Like, they can always pass that on. This is the kind of thing that you can pass on, that you can ultimately reuse until it falls apart or until someone loves it enough to want to keep it. Like, I love that about things, that craft things can be passed on and on. Okay, that's better. Now, what we're going to do, now that we have our handles mostly sorted, I'm going to start with that handle that doesn't feel quite the way I want it to, is what I do is I sort of try and find the spot roughly in the centre. You want to make sure there's paper behind it, and I'm just using my awl. You could use a small hole punch or whatever you have. I just have a preference for using my Clover graduated awl. You can get really cheap versions of awls now with a wooden handle from eBay for a couple of dollars, like $1 something. So if you can, I would invest in an awl. It's a very handy tool, not just for bear making. Okay, so then we come across here and we do the same thing. We're just sort of looking for roughly the middle spot. Very gently, do not put your finger behind where you're popping the hole. Otherwise, you will end up hurting yourself and poking your finger and making yourself bleed. And believe me, I've done that. I have stabbed myself with an awl before. It is not a pleasant experience. Okay, so that's one side. And I may as well just finish this side now. Like, from the fact that I had this pre-cut helped. But honestly, you can, because I'm talking you through it, it's taken a bit longer. You could probably knock one of these out in about 20 minutes from measuring, cutting, everything. I have to hand cut, so that takes a little bit extra time because, or I cut using my, or I like push harder on my scoreboard. But yeah, so one more. Okay, let's see, one more here is there, and then that is it. And it's so pretty, and it's something that I really love these. I think these are, and then look, you just pull this along here to get your shape again, and you've got a really cute little bag with handles that you can use. Now, as I said, a Hallett bag isn't my original thing. This tutorial is because most Hallett bags, they get you to put 2 pieces of paper together to cover the thing or to add extra inches of paper. This is all out of 12 by 12, so you can get 2 bags. As I said, you could easily just chop an extra inch off that and have it be a little shorter, though I think that would be a little harder. Actually, no, I did get the 2, oh yeah, because you get 2 inches. I did get the 2 lots of handles out of one, so yeah, so it is really economical. 2 sheets of pattern paper, 1 sheet of cardstock, all 12 by 12. You get 4 bags with their handles. That's why I did the handles this way. That's right. Now I remember. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you're going to give this a go. Let me know what you think. I love Hallett bags. I'm new to Hallett bags. They sort of only came across my radar last month, and I must admit I fell in love. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Sorry for rabbiting on and rambling. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Keep cool if you're in Australia. Keep warm if you're in cold climates. And remember, as always, you are incredible. You are amazing, and you truly, truly do matter. Bye, my angels and devils.